Yeah, one of your most popular video series on your channel is about an inbred family, right?
Yeah, it's got
Where did they live?
It's got 12 or 13 million views.
Yeah, it's got like an insane amount of views.
When I was doing Create Equal, my first book, which is all American portraits, I went to
Right.
every state and I did portraits of all kinds of people, from astronauts to ballerinas to politicians to drug addicts, everything you can imagine that exists in the United States, polygamists, everything. We were in West Virginia, just driving around as I would do, and just driving around, just with no goal, no one to hook up with. We were just looking around, and went to a convenient, like a little truck stop, and there was a cop there, and I just, the cops are really good to talk to because they know everybody, they know all the stories and all this stuff. So I went up to the cop and told him what I'm doing. He goes, yeah, I could do that. I get off at 2:00. Like, great, I'll meet you at 2 right here. So I did, and he just took me to a whole bunch of different spots that were incredible. He was great. Of all, I use these kind of contacts very often, and he was one of the best in Raleigh County, West Virginia. He was amazing, and he eventually, after it was not on the first trip, but the second trip there, took me to see the Whitaker family in a town called Odd, West Virginia.
Odd, West Virginia.
Yeah. Well, West Virginia and Kentucky have a lot of these towns that just have the strangest names. I just did a video, I think last week, of a girl that lives in Helfercertain, Kentucky. And there's the most ridiculous names for towns in both West Virginia and Kentucky. So there's a town in West Virginia called Odd. And there's a bunch of other. And
this cop just took you to these guys, the Whitakers?
Well, no, what he actually said, it's a great story. This was a second trip to West Virginia. The first one, we were doing some other things, and all our equipment got rained on, so we had to we can't even shoot here. We can't rent new equipment because we're in West Virginia, so
right.
we had to pack up and go home. But he said, when you come back, make sure you bring video camera because you're going to need video for this. And this was back when this was 2004 when I was doing Create Equal, which was just photography, no videos. And he goes, make sure you bring a video camera. And I'm just like, yeah. I don't do video. I've never touched a video camera in my life.
That's funny. So
we went back to LA, and then 2 weeks later we came back, and he goes, you brought a video camera, right? I'm like, no, I didn't. He got all pissed at me. He was like, I told you to bring a video camera. And then, so whatever, he took us there, and he was exactly right. It was the most, like that little scene from Deliverance that everyone knows. We come around this, we're on a road, and it turns into this little country road, then it turns into a dirt road, and we come to this trailer and then a little shack on the other side of the road. And there's these people walking around, and their eyes are going in different directions, and they are barking at us. And the one guy you'd look at him in the eye or say anything, and he would just scream and go running away, and his pants would fall around his ankles, and he'd go running off and go kick a garbage can. And this would happen over and over. It was out of control. The craziest thing I've ever seen. But I eventually got, it's an interesting story. This shows you how I operate. This is why the barrier to entry for this project is incredible. And barrier to entry is the key to making business successful, whatever you're doing. Because if you just do something that's easily duplicatable, then everyone's just going to copy it and do it. But here's this gives you a window into what I do. So this family in West Virginia they're like kind of protected by the neighbors and the relatives and whoever, they don't like people coming to ridicule these people, and everybody in the area kind of knows of them, and let's just go over to the Whitakers and laugh at them or something. This kind of stuff happens. So I was this city slicker with cameras, and it's a pretty, not a huge production, but it's clearly I'm not from around here, and it's clear that I'm doing something different. So just my luck, we showed up, and somebody in their family had just passed away, and they were all mourning the death of their aunt or their grandmother or somebody. And I asked one of the brothers who actually spoke if I could do these portraits, and he goes, "No, we just had a death in the family, and we're all mourning, and we're having a funeral soon, and blah blah blah, and it's just not a good time." I'm like, damn it! I came all the way out here, and this happens. It's just terrible timing. So I have to be respectful and say, okay, I'm sorry, thank you, maybe I'll come back, and that's just the way it goes. but then I started thinking about it. I'm like, you know what? It might be really nice for them if, because I was shooting 8x10 Polaroids at the time. 8x10 film, but then shooting 8x10 Polaroids. So they get a big instant print.
Okay.
And I said, if I shot Polaroids of them, they could have a print of the entire family, and they could include that in the casket with their loved one, and they might actually be into that. So I shot one of the members of the family, and then I shot a second one, and a third, and a fourth, and then eventually they liked that idea. And they said, okay, and that's what I did. And I ended up getting portraits of everyone I wanted to. And I gave them a print and did all the little nice things I do behind the scenes, and that was that. And it was a nice little relationship I started, and we would go back whenever I'd be in West Virginia shooting on like other projects and stuff, which wasn't often, but once or twice I'd be there, and I'd go visit them and say hi, and then so now I'm working on this project, and I was just like let's just drive by and say hi again. And I knew I couldn't do an interview like I do, which is a little more civilized like this.
Mm-hmm.
These people are so hard to, it's hard to communicate with them.
Right.
And I don't know if it was ever going to work out anyway. So it was, I was just with my iPhone. I just picked up my iPhone and I shot this stupid little video just kind of to show that the level of poverty, level of everything that was in that family, without any intent. It wasn't meant for my channel, because I won't post a video unless it has the portrait, and I couldn't get another portrait. I knew that wasn't going to be in the works. The last time it was a miracle that it happened, and I don't think that was going to happen again. So I was just shot this little video, and as I was shooting, I realized this is kind of interesting. Yeah. This might actually work. Let me just follow through with it and see if maybe it. So, I see a lot of comments. I get all the kind of comments from this is everything you can imagine. On a video that becomes that popular, it becomes really interesting just to read the comments. But everything from I'm an exploitive bastard to this is incredible, and everything in between. But I forget where I was going with that. But it just turned into something like, I guess I could kind of use this. I can use the portraits from Create Equal, which is what I did, and I can post it.
The video.
And I did, and I didn't know what it didn't really fit the channel. I didn't really say anything in the video. It was just something that was, it feels exploitive, but I think it's good for us all to know that a lot of these things exist.
For sure.
People say, "Oh, what you're doing is exploitive," all the time. Look, a hotel, the hotel I'm staying at while I'm here in Tampa, they're exploiting my need to sleep.
Yeah.
The restaurant that I had breakfast at is exploiting my hunger. Everything is exploitive. You take a picture, photography and video especially are by nature exploitive. Because if I take a picture of a girl for an ad, you're exploiting her beauty. You're paying her for her beauty and you're using it in an ad. Is that not exploitive? So everything can be viewed as exploitive. Except
the difference is this is actual real shit. That's whatever it is, paid acting or modeling or whatever. Right here, you're shining a light on something that's real. Like you're shining a light on an actual, actual wound.
I mean,